Ever pondered how light speed travel could turn from science fiction to reality? Well, let's shed some light on that mystery, shall we? You see, the key to this fantastical concept lies in the essence of a peculiar particle, the Higgs boson. This elusive little fellow, sometimes called the God particle, is associated with the Higgs field, a quantum field that gives particles their mass. Now imagine if we could manipulate this field. If we could, in theory, turn it off for a spacecraft, we could make that craft massless. And a massless object, my friends, could travel at the speed of light. Sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, right? But hold on to your popcorn because we're just getting started. Now, to achieve this light speed travel, or LST as the cool kids call it, we would need something called a Higgs distortion drive. Picture it as the engine of our hypothetical spaceship. This drive would include several components, each playing a crucial role in our interstellar joyride. First up, we have the Higgs field modulator. This bad boy generates and controls an outer Higgs distortion field, reducing the mass of the spacecraft to zero. Think of it as a master switch that turns the mass of our spaceship on and off. Next, we'd need a quantum entanglement core. This is the manager of the inner Higgs standard field, ensuring the standard mass properties within the ship. It's like an internal gravity control system that keeps everything inside the ship normal while we're zipping around the cosmos. And of course, we'd need an energy source, a field transition buffer, a navigation and control system, a structural integrity field, and safety and life support systems. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We'll dive into these in the upcoming scenes. But how does one go about fooling the universe into thinking a spaceship has no mass? Well, buckle up. We're about to dive into the world of the Higgs distortion drive. Imagine a device that could manipulate the Higgs field around a spaceship, effectively reducing its mass to zero. Welcome to the realm of the Higgs field modulator, our first step to achieving light speed travel. This isn't your average car engine, it's a creation straight out of the pages of science fiction. At its core, the Higgs field modulator generates and controls an outer Higgs distortion field. Think of it like a cloak subtly altering the very fabric of reality around our spacecraft. This manipulation, based on advanced quantum field technology and the properties of the Higgs boson, allows our vessel to slip through the universe as if it were weightless. Now, if you're scratching your head, don't fret. The exact process is currently unknown in physics, but who knows? With a dash of imagination and a sprinkle of scientific breakthroughs, we might just pull it off. Just remember, you can't put this thing in your old jalopy and expect to zoom off to Alpha Centauri. Now, while the spaceship is zipping along as if it has no mass, we still want everything inside to behave normally. That's where the quantum entanglement core comes in. It's like the world's best party planner, ensuring that though the ship is having a wild time in the universe, the party inside remains pretty chill. The quantum entanglement core manages the inner Higgs standard field, making sure that even though the universe thinks our ship is floating like a feather, inside we still experience gravity and our own mass as usual. It's like being at a crazy rave, but still being able to have a normal conversation in your own little bubble. This is achieved by synchronizing the ship's internal field with the normal Higgs field, maintaining a stable environment inside the ship. It's a form of quantum field synchronization that's still far beyond our current understanding, but hey, we're allowed to dream, right? So while the universe thinks our ship has no mass, thanks to our quantum entanglement core, our cup of coffee still pours the same. Scene script. Of course, all this quantum field manipulation requires a bit of juice. You see, powering a Higgs distortion drive isn't as simple as plugging it into your local power grid. We're talking about an energy source that's capable of manipulating the very fabric of the universe. So where do we get that kind of energy? Well, one possibility is a zero-point energy extractor. Now, don't let the name scare you. Simply put, it's a theoretical system that taps into the lowest possible energy that a quantum mechanical system may possess. We're talking about trying to harness the energy that exists even when everything else is taken away. Empty space isn't truly empty, you know, it's filled with this zero-point energy. If we could tap into that, we'd have access to an almost unlimited power source. Sounds like science fiction. Well, you're not wrong, but then again, we're talking about a spaceship that travels at light speed. Another potential power source could be an antimatter reactor. When matter and antimatter collide, they annihilate each other, releasing a tremendous amount of energy in the process. To put it in perspective, a single gram of antimatter contains about the same energy as the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. That's a lot of energy, but don't worry, we're not planning on building a spaceship powered by nuclear bombs. The challenge here is to safely contain and control the antimatter, which is, let's say, a tad tricky. Lastly, we might consider a compact fusion generator. Fusion is the process that powers our sun, and if we could replicate that on a smaller scale, we'd have a mini-sun powering our spaceship. Sounds hot, right? But the payoff would be a clean, efficient, and powerful energy source that could keep us cruising at light speed. Just remember, with great power comes great responsibility, especially when that power is potentially enough to distort the Higgs field. Now that we've got our ship massless and powered up, how do we ensure it doesn't fall apart or zip off in the wrong direction? A great question, and one that brings us to the field transition buffer and navigation and control system. The field transition buffer is like having a well-trained orchestra conductor at the helm of our starship, ensuring a seamless transition between the two Higgs fields. Think of it as trying to switch from playing a symphony to a rock concert without missing a beat. If not managed properly, the result could be, well, catastrophic. Hence, we have a sophisticated system of field dampeners and regulators that carefully balance the two Higgs fields, ensuring a smooth transition. This might involve exotic materials or even unknown principles of field dynamics. It's all very cutting edge and frankly a little bit mind-boggling. Meanwhile, the navigation and control system is our cosmic GPS, dictating the trajectory and speed of our spacecraft. But this isn't your everyday GPS that can sometimes lead you into a lake. No, this one is backed by advanced AI and quantum computing, capable of calculating and adjusting the complex field dynamics required for light speed travel. It's like having Einstein, Hawking, and a supercomputer all rolled into one, taking care of our route through the cosmos. Imagine driving a car without brakes or a steering wheel. Sounds chaotic, right? You'd probably end up in a tree or worse, in your neighbor's living room. Now imagine that on a cosmic scale. Without these systems, we'd be hurtling through space without any control over our direction or speed. Not exactly the ideal way to explore the universe, is it? So the field transition buffer and navigation and control system are our cosmic brakes and steering wheel, making sure we don't end up as a new constellation. With these in place, we're one step closer to achieving our dream of light speed travel. And who knows, maybe that dream isn't as far away as we think. We're almost ready to hit light speed, but we've got a couple more things to check off our list. First up, our structural integrity field. Think of it like a superhero's shield, protecting our spaceship from the rigors of light speed travel. This field reinforces the molecular structure of the spaceship, possibly using advanced materials science or even nanotechnology. It's like a supercharged bubble wrap, ensuring our ship stays whole and hearty during our cosmic jaunt. Then we have our safety and life support systems. Imagine this as the ultimate personal assistant, only instead of managing your calendar, it's managing your survival. These advanced systems operate independently of the Higgs fields, maintaining a stable and livable environment inside the spaceship. It's like having a robot butler who not only serves your interstellar martinis, but also keeps the air breathable and the gravity just right. And there you have it, the complete package, all aboard the Higgs Distortion Drive Express. Next stop, the stars. Before we get too carried away, let's bring ourselves back down to Earth, literally. Sure, it's fun to dream about zipping around the cosmos at the speed of light, but let's not forget the hurdles we'd have to overcome first. One of the trickiest is relativistic effects. As we approach light speed, time starts to do funky things like slowing down. That's right. You could return from your trip to find everyone you know aged, while you're still fresh as a daisy. Then there's the small matter of navigation. At light speed, even a tiny speck of dust could cause a catastrophic collision. We'd need some seriously advanced predictive modeling, or perhaps some exotic sensors that can see into the future. And let's not forget the energy requirements. We're talking about a power source so advanced and efficient, it's beyond anything we currently have. While we're not there yet, who knows what the future holds? After all, even the impossible can become possible with a bit of imagination and a lot of science.